It's me again, and I want to continue my series on religion and on the misrepresentation of God and Jesus. And I tend to think that the reason why there are like thousands of sexual predator priests, or there were and probably still are some in the Catholic Church, is because in some ways they're living a lie. And you got to wonder why the evangelicals in the southern U.S. Voted in Trump, who has like zero fruits of the Spirit, and that's how we're supposed to recognize a person of God. I think it's because they also believe in some fallacies about Jesus and God. But from there on, we'll go to this entity known as the devil, Satan, Lucifer, and his fallen angels. Are they real? Well, I'd like to make it very clear that you cannot necessarily blame your action on the devil made me do it. You can go down a road where you could be taken over by lies. And you have to realize that truth is of God, lies are of the devil. So in my life, when I have been in battles trying to ensure my salvation and do what I believed God wanted me to do, I've had a few encounters with this entity called the devil. One night while I was asleep, it wasn't a nightmare. This thought entered my brain. It was beyond a nightmare. It was like some other force had entered my brain and had told me that I had lost my salvation. Which was a real hit because I was really concerned about keeping my salvation. I, in my dream, managed, or in my semi-conscious state, managed to command that devil to leave me in the name of Jesus, and lo and behold, it did. I woke up in a sweat, and I was relieved. So that's one instance where the devil became real to me. I don't say these things because I read about the devil in the Bible or somebody told me. I don't say anything unless I've actually experienced it in real time, in this dimension. So there was another time where my life was almost lost, or I was could have been very seriously injured. I was in the phone booth in front of the post office phoning my wife, and this pickup truck approached the sidewalk, and there was an elderly man in it, and lo and behold, he didn't stop. The truck proceeded over the sidewalk and rammed into the post office, or the phone booth, and behind the phone booth was a cement concrete wall. So by I don't know how, I found myself lying on the sidewalk about 10 feet away from the phone booth, and here's this guy standing over me, totally confused as to the fact that he almost killed me. I couldn't get up because my muscles were in shock, but no bones were broken. So I tend to think that this guy was beyond senility. He was taken over by the enemy of God. That's another instance that I want to share. You got to wonder how some leaders, like for instance Putin, willing to slaughter many people and send his young men into battle to be slaughtered. You got to wonder if that isn't some form of possession. I don't say these things to scare people or anything like that. I would say that the truth in the long run always wins. The lie will be exposed, but the problem is if we allow lies to propagate, and the world is full of them right now with various, shall we say, conspiracy theories like the QAnon conspiracy, where 30% of Republicans believe that Democrats are Satan worshippers and they're sacrificing babies or something to the crazy thing like that. This is demonic. This is harmful. This is not. And the problem with somebody who is what I would call possessed, you can't reason with them. You can't even have a discussion with them because they're possessed. They're possessed by a lie. You could call it Satan, you could call it Lucifer, you could call it just a lie if you so choose. So what we need now is to realize what it is to be human. What is to be human? How are we to be human? We have to show empathy, compassion, love for our fellow humans, and we have to try with our best effort to ensure that our offspring have a planet to inhabit. So the funny thing, it's not funny, but the thing that I realize and find is that people who follow this fundamentalism that I used to follow tend to believe that climate change is a hoax and that somehow God is going to fix everything. And I used to believe that. I used to believe that Jesus was going to come, return, and we were going to be raptured and he was going to renew the earth. And boy, that gave me a lot of comfort because I thought, boy, somebody's got to clean up this mess. I'm here to inform you that we have to clean up the mess. So that's pretty much what I've got on my mind and I want to share. I hope to continue this series hopefully for the next few Fridays. And I would like to tackle the next thing I'd like to tackle is the political arena and how it functions and how democracy should function and why we have leaders, the cult of the leadership, that it's too much for anyone, and so we have to change that system. So in the meantime, I hope this does some good, and see you, keep following, and if you like it, pass it on. Thank you.